right now. We are live on Facebook. This is DTM, Delta Tango Mike. You know where to find me anywhere on the internet. Delta Tango Mike. And I think that one of these days I'm going to talk about where Delta Tango Mike comes from. DTM, Dan the Man. Yeah, Dan the rapping man. Nobody that went to high school with me is my friend on Facebook because I don't care about those people. But they're the ones who remember calling me that. In any case, I got my coffee. It's time for our second cup of coffee for today. And we're going to take a nice coffee break with DTM. We're going to start this show. Let's go. And so at this point, there's a picture on the screen that everybody can see and they can hear me. Mm-hmm. And let me see if we got the... Yeah, there it is. It's up and it's on Facebook right now.
Oh, okay. So then where should I look? Just look at you?
You're going to look at me,
Okay.
and if you have something important that you want the public to know, you can look straight at that phone and
Right
then
here.
just say what you need to say.
Okay.
Yep, and Mike is behind the
Okay.
director chair.
Okay.
Let's go ahead, Mike. Let's roll this. We're back, and Mike is behind the scenes being the director. We got Stephanie and Lauren handling the behind-the-scenes stuff, like the sound and the cameras and so on. So we got a full crew. I got a full cup, and we have an awesome guest today. Hello, how are you doing?
I am great. How are you?
Tell us your name and where you're from.
Okay, so my name is Adrena Martin. I'm originally from Illinois, right outside of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in Atlanta for past 4 years.
Okay,
So,
4 years. What brought you to Atlanta?
So I went to college in Tuskegee University in Tuskegee, Alabama. So that's
Okay.
how I got to the South. And once I graduated, I didn't necessarily want to go back home. So I worked on campus for a few years, but I started my entrepreneurial journey right out of college too. And so initially I was back and forth between Alabama and Atlanta, just coming to different events, things like that. And so make the decision to just move here. And
All
so,
right.
yeah, it's been about 4 years.
Nice. Okay, so this looks like not too long ago you started out on this path.
Yeah, it's definitely
So tell us a little bit about what is it that you're doing now. Give us a little bit background on who you are and what you're doing.
Okay, so definitely. So I'm a fashion designer, author, and entrepreneur. So like I said, my journey started back in 2012. I was fresh out of college, had graduated, and I always knew that entrepreneurship was something that I wanted to do. But initially, I wasn't sure which road I wanted to go down. But one thing about me, I'm the only child.
Okay.
So I'm very creative,
All
and I
right.
do like fashion. So I decided to start selling jewelry. And I taught myself how to make it and everything. And so that was my first kind of, dip into entrepreneurship. But I always wanted a full clothing line.
So were you doing this stuff in college? Or we're going way back like when you were young?
Well, no, it was more so like my last semester of college.
Okay,
So I was
all
school
right.
5 years. So it was like the last semester was kind of slow, not really a lot of classes. So I was like, well, let me start, and that's pretty much where it started in 2012. And so once I graduated, I worked a little bit in my field. My degree's in sales and marketing. So I worked on campus for a little bit as a marketing coordinator, food service company, but I was always working on designing jewelry and going to different shows. Coming back and forth between there and Atlanta.
I see.
So that's pretty much there. And then I want to say maybe about 3 years ago, I taught myself how to sew. And so that's when I started doing fashion shows. Even what I'm wearing today is one of my designs, something I made. So that, and then I wrote my first book, Don't Become an Entrepreneur If, which we can talk about a little bit later. But it's a book about entrepreneurship. And I wrote that a few years ago. And it was basically based on my journey as an entrepreneur up until that date. So started that, and then that led me into View Magazine, which is a magazine it's called Visionaries and Entrepreneurs United. So it's VEU Magazine. And so that's pretty much like my journey now. So me being a creative, that's pretty much what I am. Fashion designer, author, and entrepreneur.
Wow.
And all those.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yes, it is.
And it's like 4 full-time jobs.
It's a lot, but I enjoy it.
That's
I
good.
enjoy
Yeah,
it,
you
yeah.
have to enjoy it. It has to be something that comes out of you that is natural to you so that it doesn't feel like a burden
Like
or
work.
work or something. Yeah, nice.
Exactly.
All right, that's cool. So we are going to talk about some of those things, but let's start at the beginning, right?
Okay.
So let's rewind that tape.
Okay, and I said a lot.
Yeah, well, no, it's let's go to when you were a young girl, and were you interested in these things already? Were you interested in jewelry? Were you interested in fashion? Or what was your creative outlet as a child?
Honestly, I wanted to be a doctor when I was little.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, play with the little doctor sets and everything. And But then as I got older and I would watch, even before going into college, I thought I wanted to do criminal justice. I would watch like Forensic Files and First 48, all that kind of stuff all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
The mystery of it all,
Yeah,
huh?
I thought,
Okay.
this is when I'm going to go to school and do this.
Uh-huh.
But when I got to college, the school I went to, they didn't have criminal justice. So I was like, okay, well, let me do something maybe business focused because I still wanted to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of how, well, the whole doctor thing went out the window because I realized I don't like blood. So I can't do it. I don't know why. It's like when I got older, it kind of like, nah, I can't do this. And then even watching all those shows, it kind of like gets into you. So I'm like, nah, that's not really what I want to do. So once I got into, well, to answer your question, when I was little, like I said, me being the only child, just playing with like Barbie dolls and teaching myself how to braid hair, things like that. So just really, I don't know, just entertaining myself. But really, honestly.
And because you're only child.
Right.
So your imagination kind of just soars.
Oh, yeah,
right?
it's wild. So it's, but honestly, none of it really had to do with fashion. But I've always, like, playing dress up, things like that. But I never, like, when I was little, said I wanted to be a fashion designer. It kind of came along, me just getting older and realizing more about who I was and what I was really interested in. So that's kind of how that came about.
Nice, nice. Very cool. I'm gonna take a moment to point out that our behind-the-scenes crew is letting us know that we need to look at the camera sometimes when you get a chance. It's all right. Let's do a big shot. Let's do a big shot, Mike, and show where we are. We're sitting in the Cinamaker studio set right now. We have some iPhones here in the front, and we're gonna work on that angle because you look at me when you talk to me, and that's cool. And they want to see your face when you're talking, but it's all right. We're gonna work on it. I'm gonna let the behind-the-scenes crew probably move it or something. I don't know if it'll work. In any case, big shout out to Cinamaker. All right, so we're back on this. Let's see. So as a child, you're creative. You thought you was gonna be a doctor. When did you decide you were not gonna be a doctor? When you went to school, or when you were in college? How did that happen? And what brought you to Tuskegee?
Okay, yeah. So I guess I'll start there. What brought me to Tuskegee? I wanted to go.
You're cool.
So Tuskegee is HBCU, so historically Black College and University. So that's honestly something that I wanted to immerse myself in for college. And I had an aunt; she went there too, and it's one of the top schools. So I went to open house and rode the bus down there with my parents, and then I realized, like, wow, like, this is a place that I can actually call home. It's real intimate. It's not like a huge school. So it's like, and that's, for me, I wanted something that it can almost be like a family. So, and even, honestly, that's how it is now. Like, my professors, even my old managers there, like, it's still like a family. I'm still in contact with them. And that's one of the things I love about going to Tuskegee. And so when I realized that I didn't want to be a doctor, honestly,
this is after you got to Tuskegee.
It's a little bit after, and honestly, like once so I know that's interesting. Right?
It's all right. It's cool. It's cool.
So,
and I think that it's okay that some people do take that advantage of that time to figure out who they are and what they're doing.
Oh yeah, and I think it's so important, and that's like one thing for me. College gave me that opportunity. It's like, so when I first got there, I was just a general business administration major. So, just taking basic classes, but I knew, of course, business. I'm like, okay, I kind of like this aspect of, and even taking the prerequisites. But then I realized, like, I'm a people person. So I like people, I like marketing. And so that's really what led me when it came to, okay, narrowing down, okay, not just business administration, but, even talking to professors and a dean, and they're like, okay, well, what do you specifically want to do? And I'm like, okay, well, I like sales and marketing. So that's how I ended up picking that field. Me just, like I said, liking people. And so the whole doctor thing and me, that kind of just went out the window, like I said, and realizing that this is not something that I can take and want to look at blood and things all the time. Like, and so.
And you realize what your natural talents were.
Exactly. And like I said, just being a freshman and just growing up, just becoming older and realizing more about me, who I was, and what appealed to me and what really interested me as a person. So that's really how I kind of, and honestly, even being in college, I went to career fairs because, of course, the thing is, go to college, get a job, and all that type of thing. And so, of course, I went to the career fairs, and I'm like, oh, I can go work for, so-and-so company or whatever. But honestly, I would say right around maybe like my first senior years when I realized, like, I don't necessarily want to go into the corporate field, like I'm creative. Like I enjoy creating, and just being a people person. So that's when, like I said, I was in school 5 years. It took me 5. So like my last semester as a senior, like I said, I was almost done with my courses. I probably had like maybe 2 classes I was taking. So, I was getting kind of bored a little bit. So I'm like, well, and I worked all throughout college too. I was a waitress. So, at the hotel on campus. So, but like I said, I realized I'm like, let me really take advantage of this time that I have and really focus on what it is that I enjoy doing. And so, like I said, I didn't know really how to make any jewelry. I mean, bracelets, it's simple, but I taught myself how to make earrings, necklaces, things like that. And it's really what I like to call YouTube University. YouTube,
right,
Google, you can learn anything you want. And so...
And you were interested in jewelry already? You had an idea of what you wanted and what you had in mind? Or a style? Did you have your own style already?
Pretty much. Like, I know, like, for me, my style is I like big, bold, and I like colors and print. So, like, jewelry that I used to design is I would make necklaces full of buttons, and I would just glue the buttons on them, even hats with buttons, like statement pieces.
Nice.
That's kind of where I started. So, pieces that you would maybe see in a fashion show, that not the typical everyday wear. That's pretty much what I like to design, and it's just really allowed me to just really, everything in my head, it allowed me to just get it out and just put it on a piece of jewelry or a bracelet or something like that. So, and then that even me getting into clothing is, it's the same idea. It's like me, prints, like patterns. I love sequins, anything like that. So that's pretty much my fashion journey.
All right, I like it. I like it. It sounds like you went into college with the doctor idea too, but very brain, what side, logical side of the brain, and then kind of ended up coming out with the creative side of the brain.
Definitely. Definitely. And when you mentioned psychology, I like psychology too, but psychology is good, honestly, in anything. Like, I thought about minoring in it, but I was like, I didn't necessarily want to be in college any longer. So I was like, nah, just sales and marketing is fine. Yeah. So that's what I got my degree in. But yeah, like I said, just really me just going through that college. And that's one thing I can say about college. It allows you to really figure out who you are as a person, what you like, what you don't like. Because like I said, you start off one thing and you realize a couple years down the line, like you want to do something completely different, and which is okay. So, and that's pretty much how it was for me. So,
do you feel that the marketing aspect and the classes you took help you with your business now? That no matter which area you go into, you're applying some of the same basic principles?
Honestly, yes and no. Like, what I will say is college, at least for me at the time when I was in school, it didn't really teach you much about entrepreneurship. So, but some of those skills I will say that I took from college is like accounting and learning how to do like profit and loss statements and just things like that. And then even some marketing part of it. But honestly, for me, a lot of things that I know now just came from just experience and just me just doing a lot of research and just really, failing and just, getting back up and just, honestly, just a lot of research on my own when it comes to the entrepreneurship and even the creative side of things.
And I guess this is what's in the book, huh?
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, so, yeah. So,
I'm kind of asking you questions like, wait a minute. Yeah. That sounds like some stuff you would have written down.
Actually, I have a copy of the book, too. I'll leave it with
nice.
you. So the book is called Don't Become an Entrepreneur If, and the subtitle is, if you can't do the 9 things listed in the book, then entrepreneurship isn't for you.
What?
And so,
yes. Hold up. Yes. I think we're going to have to do, you said there's 9 things on it, right? We're going to have to do 9 episodes of this book, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's interesting. So for example, like, one chapter of the book is called Don't Become an Entrepreneur If You're Afraid to Let Go of Fear. Another one is called Don't Become an Entrepreneur If You're Afraid to Not Make Excuses. So just different things that I learned. Like I said, I wrote this book a few years ago. So even now I could write a whole nother book, part 2, with probably 20 other things in the book, just things that I've learned. But yeah, and it was important for me because a lot of people, when they get into entrepreneurship, they, they look on Instagram, they look on social media, and they see, people and they're succeeding. And they think it's easy,
they
they
see
wake
the glamour
up,
and the makeup and the clean clothes.
Exactly,
well, I can do that.
Exactly,
right.
And it looks easy, but what people fail to realize, it's a lot of work that goes into it. It's a lot of like a lot of nights you just want to give up. It's a lot of planning, it's just a lot of money that you lose.
And you said fails, you mentioned failure, so
definitely
there's definitely going to be some hiccups along the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's the thing too, when you mentioned earlier about being passionate about what it is that you like to do. If you're not passionate, like, that's the one thing for me that makes the difference between giving up and keep going. Because if you just start a business or anything just for the money, then it's not, you really don't have anything to sustain you when times get hard and when you have those moments where it's like, I want to give up or anything,
Right.
because it's like the money is not going to come right away.
That's right.
You know, and so when you're passionate about what you're doing, that's what really keeps you, at least for me, that's what keeps me even to this day creating, because I love what I'm doing. You know, I enjoy like helping other people through the book, through the magazine, and just even through my design. So that's really important. Like I said, that's really one of the main aspects of the book, and it's also a motivational piece as well. So even if you're not an entrepreneur, it's just even like life lessons you learn, like even within those chapters.
Did you feel that need to write it to remind yourself and motivate yourself, or the fact that maybe other people are asking you questions that you could help answer them in one shot?
Honestly, I would say a little bit of both, because even with that, like I never wanted to be a writer. Like I knew at first, it's just stuff.
You just had something to say.
Yeah, like I never, I never grew up like, oh, I want to be an author. But honestly, like at the time when I wrote it, I think I had been in Atlanta maybe like a year, maybe like a year. And so it's like all these different things that I was experiencing, even my journey so far, it's like, wow, like people need to hear about this. And like you said, just people asking me, oh, how did you get started? Or how did, just different things like that. So yes, I did feel like, something that I had to do to help other people. And even, like I said, and it took me, I started it and I put it down for a little bit, but then I was like, okay, well, let me pick it back up. And so that's really what motivated me to finish. Because like I said, writing is not something I will say that I'm not passionate about, but I do like sharing my story. So that's what led me to even complete the book and get it out there to people. Because yes, it's stuff that people need to know. Like I said, even aspiring entrepreneurs, even some current entrepreneurs, it's a lot that you can, even me, like going back, like you say, looking at it and reading what I wrote like a few years ago, like, wow, like this is what, why I do what I do. So.
Those moments of doubt, it could feel like that when you have those moments of doubt, you look at your other self from 2 years ago or however long you wrote that book. It's like, you know what, that other self of me would not be happy if I just stopped right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. I like that.
Yeah, so that's definitely something. And even to all the entrepreneurs, the current aspiring entrepreneurs watching, like definitely that's something that I want anybody to know, like be passionate about what it is that you're doing. And I think that's so important, like one of the most important things. Like
that's good. And I think that right now is that the renaissance time for entrepreneurship. It has been happening for a while, but it's really like kicked up with so many different opportunities for people to just come out on their own, doing their own thing, because they've invested the time to learn either a hobby or a passion or some kind of skill that they can share with others, and so that we're not tied into a job or a situation where, and you said corporate, you didn't want to enter corporate America, because then you feel kind of locked in. Your time is just taken from you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's really good.
Yeah, and one thing about that too, I do think that even like I wrote in the book, like entrepreneurship is not for everybody, and that's something that I think it's important for people to realize too. Like, it's just not for everybody. Like, you may have an idea, but it's a lot that goes with it. Like, some people, they like the comfortability of getting a paycheck every 2 weeks and the consistent income. And as an entrepreneur, that's just not how it works.
Yeah,
so
the day I chose to be a full-time artist is the day I lost the girlfriend I had then. Yeah, she did that check. That she was mad. She's like, "Why are you giving up a steady check?" Of course, it's a loss a long time ago, but it was real. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
We all have a role to play in this society, and some people are more comfortable.
Exactly, and that's okay for them, because that's
right.
the path that they go down, and that's the path that you chose. So
nice, I like that. We're gonna keep talking, but we're gonna refer to some of the comments that are on Facebook right now.
Okay.
Because we got to give them a shout out.
Okay.
Bernardo, he says, "Looking good, my friend." He's a cool guy. He's standing right there. Kimberly Stewart Lucas says, "Let me go get my coffee."
Okay.
Gotta get your coffee ready. And she says, "Salute to Cinamaker." We're actually producing a show for her here. And you can check it out. Warrior Mamas is her Facebook page. William Wolford says, "Literally, I just finished my coffee when it started watching." That's a good opportunity for a second cup. And he also says, "I've definitely failed a lot." And I think that's one of the things that we have to get past, that fear, right, of failure.
Definitely.
What were some of the things that you prepared yourself in becoming an entrepreneur? Did you have to save money? Did you work on some Plan B stuff?
Honestly, for me, like even starting my business, like some people, they may have like, a family member, somebody give them large sum of money or whatever, things like that. And I didn't have that, and I told my parents like, oh, I want to, do this. But of course, first of all, me being the only child and me telling them, oh, I want to
They give you
not know
everything.
well, not even
Just like-
necessarily, not necessarily, but for them, it was more so like, oh, you're gonna pass up opportunities to do this because you want to go and live like this, and and that's the thing for me, and I'm sure it's a lot of people out there. They don't, the family may not support them initially, or they may not understand it, and it's only because it's like they want the best for you. They don't want to see you fail, or they don't want to see you, broke and struggling, and all that kind of things. But for me, that's one of the things that I had to, I guess, really just overcome, like not letting other people's opinions about what I should be doing affect, because like, oh, you have a college degree, and you can be doing this, and which, I could be, working anywhere right now, doing anything. But honestly, once again, it's like that's not, I wouldn't have been happy doing that. Right. And so me, honestly, preparing myself, it's just really, honestly, a lot of trial and error. Like I said, I've lost, a lot of money along the way doing just, putting my money in different things, and just, you just really have to just bounce back from it and make it up in your mind that, okay, this is what I want to do, and my bank account may be negative, but but it's okay because there's light at the end of the tunnel. And I think, just always seeing like what's on the other side of that, and keeping that, that faith and what it is that you're doing, that you're on the right track. So,
and what's on the other side of that are the things that you're working on, right? It's not just wishful thinking. You're actively every day working on your business, working on your marketing, working on promoting, so that you can get the clients that you need that are going to bring you from that negative.
And that's another thing too, like entrepreneurship, and this is how, once again, it's not for everybody, because it's not like a 9-to-5 job. It's not like you get up, go, you come home, and that's it. Like, no, it's a 24/7 job. Like, even me, like I'll tell myself, oh, I'm going to go and take a nap or do something, but I end up just laying there just thinking about some ideas or some emails to send or something. So it's like, it's always something. And so that's, a lot of people, they can't deal with that, or they don't want to, the extra, headache of dealing with that. So.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about some of the other things that you are doing. You said, so jewelry, you're still doing jewelry, or you've totally flipped it into fashion?
I'm more so into clothing design, because honestly that's what I enjoy more, because for me it's all about controlling my entire look. So jewelry is good, but for me, the fact that I can go to the fabric store and create a whole outfit, a whole look for myself that I can, and even for other people, that's honestly what gives me more, that's what really what gets me going more. So that's really what I'm doing on the fashion side. But getting into my magazine, View Magazine, that's when maybe I started that 2015. So like I said earlier, it's View Magazine. It stands for Visionaries and Entrepreneurs United. And so how that even came about was because, okay, me being into fashion, I love doing events. I love going to different networking events and just networking with a lot of different people. And so initially, I was just going to start a blog. I said, okay, I'm going to start a blog and have other entrepreneurs come on, and, we get resources from each other. But in the midst of that, I kept thinking bigger. I'm like, nah, I'm going to do a magazine. Like, it kept coming to me as a magazine. But honestly, I sat on it for a few months because I'm like, magazine is too much work.
It
like,
is.
I don't want to
I was
going to
ask, is it printed or is it online?
It's both.
Okay.
It's both. And that's why, I'm like, I don't want to do a magazine. Let me just keep it a blog. And like I said, I waited a while. I didn't do anything. But, like, it kept coming to me like, this is what I was supposed to be doing. So, once again, I didn't go to school for journalism or think about it. So once again, it's, it's
just get out there and do it.
Yeah, it's like, so I get online, Google, YouTube, and just researching how to start a magazine. And like I said, you can learn anything you want to online. So, and in the fall of 2015, that's when the first issue launched. So it's a bi-monthly. We print it bi-monthly. It's printed online, and it's veumagazine.com. It's print, and so the focus of the magazine is a positive lifestyle magazine, but the focus is on entrepreneurship and small businesses. So really giving a platform to entrepreneurs like myself, and even like there's so many entrepreneurs out here that people don't know about they're self-made millionaires, but you won't hear about them because they're not on TV or things like that. So. Gotcha. That's what View Magazine is about. I mean, we cover celebrities, but it's more so it's all on the positive note. So It's not gossip or anything like that. It's all on the positive note. And so even the goal with View Magazine, eventually I want to turn that into its own network. So I want to be able to produce.
That's what I was thinking in my mind right now
yeah,
when you were
yeah,
talking. I was like, we need
definitely.
to do episodes on all of on each article, each person.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely like I want to be able to produce different so I don't want to do a web series, but just different content, just the everyday life of an entrepreneur, and even turn into like maybe a TV show or something like that. Like that's my ultimate goal with that. And so really, it all goes together. Like me being an entrepreneur, and that's like I said, just tying everything together, my journey, and just inspiring other people and giving other people a platform that deserve it. So
nice. Is it so it's printed, right? Do you also
it's
print it? How many pages is it?
It's usually between 48 to 52 pages each issue.
Okay. And you have other people who do the writing, or you write it yourself?
Definitely. No. I don't do any writing. No. The only thing I usually write is like the publisher's page. And that's just me coming from.
So you have contributors and photographers and things like that.
Oh yes, definitely. So it's a team, and I'm always building. So I'm always building. But yes, I do have good writers who write. And even now, like one thing with that I really want to tackle more on is mental health. Like I definitely want to, and that's another thing too. I wanted to use the magazine to bring awareness to different things. So definitely mental health. That's something that I want to get more into. So I do have writers. So if you even have any people that who want to contribute and want to write, definitely.
Very cool. So the printed version is for sale at a particular place, or do you need to order it from the website?
It's online. I am working on getting it into retail outlets, but right now it's on viewmagazine.com. There's a link that you can get the digital copy there, and you can get a print one sent to you as well.
Okay, very cool.
And so we do also have with the online version, we keep that updated usually every couple of days to a week. This is updated with different articles on there.
So it changes. It can change the file itself. You said bi-monthly. Does that mean every 2 months?
Yes, every 2 months we print it. Sometimes we'll do a limited edition in between, but it's usually every 2 months. So like right now we're working on the May-June issue.
Very good. So I'm guessing that the people who are featured on the magazine, they look very fashionable. Also, you make them.
In a way, but not necessarily. Not necessarily.
I got you. I know.
I mean, but somewhat, yes, but not necessarily.
No, I got you. Yeah, very good. This is cool. I like it. I like how you. One of the things you mentioned is that you research. So you didn't know how to do something, you look it up.
Oh yes.
And to me that's very important because you could get caught in a loop of going back to school.
Oh yes.
For everything, which is not a bad idea, but eventually somebody has already published or written or done a video about this thing that you're trying to learn.
Anything you want to know.
And you should take the time to do a little research and find it, and that could be the key.
Yes. I mean, honestly, that's how I look at it. Like, it's really no excuse for anybody. Like, if you want to do whatever, I mean, it's literally online. Like, anything you can think of, it's online. You can teach yourself how to do it and make a living from it.
Yeah.
So, yes.
That's why people say YouTube University.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's fast. Yes.
Yeah, it's there. All right, so I got a couple of questions.
Okay.
Number one is your social medias. You mentioned View Magazine, and that's also the Twitter or Instagram?
Right. So personally, I'm on Instagram as well. Who is Adrena? And it's ADRENA. And everything about me is there. Like, there's links in the bio to the magazine. Whoisadrena.com. That's my main website. But also the magazine, View Magazine. So it's VEU magazine.com. And then the Instagram is VEU magazine _ and everything else is just View Magazine. Twitter, Facebook, View Magazine. So VEU magazine.
Yeah. So somebody got you on the Instagram with the... That's why I had to add the underscore?
I had to add the underscore, yeah. So it was something similar. So I was like, let me add the underscore.
Those squatters.
Yeah.
And all right, so last question. Well, let's make it a next to last question.
Okay.
What are some of the things that you have to offer to somebody who comes your way and says, I want to be an entrepreneur like you, or I want to be in business with you? Is there a service or something that you provide?
Yeah, so I do. I have clients that I do who want to do business coaching with me because, like I said, I do have a lot of people asking me, how do you start a fashion line? How do you start a magazine? And just entrepreneurship courses in general. So that is something that I offer. So you can send me an email, go through my website or send me an email through that. Which one? Either one, View Magazine, or either one. But yeah, that's definitely something that I offer because, like I said, I know that there's so many people out there who want to get into entrepreneurship. And honestly, my goal isn't to convince everybody to become an entrepreneur because, like I said earlier, it may not be. You may think you want to do it, and then you realize, like, no, this is not. Or maybe the field you may want to start a boutique and then realize that's not what you want to do. You might want to, do something like that. So just even like giving clarity, because honestly, for me, one of the main things that has helped me even just keep scaling what I'm doing is just learning how to focus and not, because you can be doing so many different things and be busy, but it's like you're not really getting anywhere. So it's important to, sometimes you just have to take a step back and just be still for a minute and just learn, just listen to what comes to you and just really use that as a way of figuring out what it is that you can focus on, maybe for like the next 90 days or maybe, and like me, I'm the type of person, like I said, I'm always thinking about stuff. So I'm always creative. So I can be in the shower in the middle of the night and I get an idea and it's like, I might wake up and like, oh, this is great. But then I'm like, no, I can't do this right now. Let me just focus on what I'm doing and just, wait a little bit and then move on to that. So
that's good. So, and I guess some of that comes from the book and how to apply certain things. So that's definitely a big plus.
Oh, yes, definitely. And even with the book, it's available on Amazon.com. So it's print copies on Amazon and through my website as well. But Don't Become an Entrepreneur If as well. And you can just type in my name, Adrena Martin, or just type in the title of it. But yes, there's.
And I'm sure not a whole lot's going to come up that's not you with that name.
Well, no.
I never heard of that name. That's very unique.
Oh, the name of the book title?
Your name.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, I honestly haven't met anybody with my name, really, no. So
my name is Daniel. Everybody's Daniel. Every new TV show has a Daniel in it. All right, so last question then. If you were to talk to Adrena coming out of high school, what would be some advice you give her?
Oh, man. Coming out of high school, wow. I would probably say, man, so much. Honestly, the main thing I would say is probably to just listen to your inner voice more. And that's something that I'm learning to do more because, like I said, it's easy, like when you're first starting off and you have all these other people in your head and family and friends and, and especially people who may not understand the entrepreneurial journey. Like you say, if you have a lot of friends who just they go to 9 to 5. They don't understand the life that you live as an entrepreneur. And so they don't understand when you have to turn down going out somewhere or turn down a trip somewhere because you're trying to save for your business or you're trying to invest in something. So honestly, I would say just listen to that inner voice more and just the discernment. So the inner voice was the discernment. That's the main thing I would tell myself because that's really what has helped me, like I said, just learn who not to associate with anymore, who to, who to keep around, like just really just realizing like in the energy, like, the energy is off. If, if I feel like, and it honestly doesn't matter how long you've known somebody. You can know somebody for 20 years, know them for a year, and the person you know for a year can have more of an impact on you than a person from 20 years. So I think, honestly, that's probably like one of the most important things.
All right, cool. And if you want to hear more, get in touch.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Adrena. Yes. I appreciate you stopping by to see us. This is DTM, Delta Tango Mike, anywhere on the internet, Artist King _ATL. So go ahead and check us out and visit Adrena's website, whoisadrena.com. Check out the book. Check out the work that she's doing. Check out the fashion. I did know that you did a little jewelry, but now I know you do the whole package. I don't know what you can do with me, but we'll figure it out.
I got you.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Peace out. You did good.
Oh,
good job.
You.